ND News, Good Morning Central Illinois, with Gabrielle Biondo and Lee Davis.
Well, many people have dreams they'd like to follow or accomplish, but don't because they feel something stands in their way. Well, this morning, the author of a new book, PaperDoll, LuAn Mitchell-Halter, joins us live to tell us about her book, written about overcoming the barriers she felt were in her way of accomplishing her goals and eventually being named Canada's top entrepreneur. Thanks for joining us this morning.
Thank you, Gabrielle. Honored to be here.
So first of all, explain the title of your book to us, PaperDoll.
Well, you know, we had a brainstorming session, and in that session we talked about what is it that really is the core of this story, is the core that's the motivation of this life. And we came to the place of looking at comparatives. And in this brainstorming session there were 2 men and 2 women, and we looked at, we sort of talking about things like unstoppable woman and unstoppable people and things like that. We said, no, that's not it. Well, my life has been lived in the headlines for one reason or another all the way through. So we thought, well, there was a correlation with the papers. But then we thought, no, that's not all it is. We looked at the qualities of paper itself. And you know, there are a lot of similarities between paper and us human folk. Paper can be torn, and sometimes I felt like I've been torn. Paper can get burned, and I felt like I've been burned. And paper, sometimes we laminate it, and we, as humans, sometimes build these walls or fortresses around ourselves to protect ourselves from being hurt or from having other things penetrate that we don't want in our world. So we saw that, and then of course the doll, you know, people used to look at me, I was a pageant girl, and would, you know, that's a little plastic, and they would think, oh, it's just a piece of fluff girl. But there's a lot more to me, there's a lot more to everyone else. We shouldn't judge by appearances. So I thought, whoa, it's like the paper doll.
So your book is the story of how you began overcoming barriers to get where you are now. Where did you start?
Oh gosh, it started way back when, just I suppose at birth, but I didn't know it yet. But in my teenage years, I had a rather nasty circumstance. I had a date rape. And when that happened, I became pregnant. And I was starting my life as a pregnant teenage runaway. And people used to look at me, and I can guarantee you in those days, they didn't say, hey, I'll bet she'll grow up and become one of the top 40 businesswomen of the world. They looked at me and said, hey, your life is over. And I looked at them and I said, either I have a choice here. I can embrace this at age 17 and believe these people, or I can come to understand myself on a higher level and take those gifts which I believe I have that are uniquely mine to give to this world, and I can help others.
And just make it into a positive, right?
Yeah, take it into a positive. And you know what? Not only make lemonade out of it, but maybe pour a glass for someone else who might thirst.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us this